Supreme Court strikes down Trump's global tariffs in major blow to economic agenda. Washington, D.C. In a historic rebuke of executive overreach, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on Friday that President Donald Trump lacked the legal authority to unilaterally impose sweeping, reciprocal, and Liberation Day tariffs on global imports. The 6-3 decision effectively dismantles the central pillar of the administration's trade strategy, which had sought to use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, to levy duties on dozens of countries, including Canada, Mexico, and China. The ruling, no unbounded authority. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts clarified that while the IEEPA gives the President broad powers to regulate commerce during a national emergency, it does not grant the executive branch the unbounded authority to tax imports, a power the Constitution explicitly reserves for Congress. The Constitution assigns Congress the exclusive powers to lay and collect duties and to regulate commerce with foreign nations, the opinion stated. The executive cannot use a declared emergency as a backdoor to bypass the legislative process for revenue-raising measures of this magnitude. The ruling upheld previous decisions from federal appeals courts, which had characterized the administration's interpretation of the 1977 statute as an unprecedented expansion of presidential power. A chainsaw approach to trade. The legal battle began shortly after the administration announced the Liberation Day tariffs in April 2025, declaring a national emergency over trade deficits and fentanyl trafficking. The administration argued that these issues constituted an unusual and extraordinary threat that justified the tariffs. However, a coalition of small businesses and 12 states sued, arguing that the tariffs were causing severe economic hardship and supply chain disruptions. During oral arguments in November, several justices expressed skepticism that the word regulate in the statute could be interpreted to mean impose taxes. Justice Neil Gorsuch notably questioned if such a broad delegation would mean Congress was abdicating its constitutional duties. Economic and political fallout. The ruling has immediate and far-reaching consequences. Tariff refunds. The Treasury Department may now be forced to refund upwards of $160 billion in collected tariff revenue to U.S. importers. Negotiating leverage. The decision is seen as a significant blow to the President's negotiator-in-chief status. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had previously warned the court that a ruling against the administration would cause world leaders to question the President's authority and stall ongoing trade negotiations. Small business relief. For many small businesses like the importers who filed the initial lawsuit, the ruling is being hailed as a survival victory. "We just want to make sure we can pay our payroll and rent," said one plaintiff following the announcement. White House response. The White House expressed sharp disappointment with the ruling. In a statement, Deputy Secretary Kush Desai said, "It is not for unelected judges to decide how to properly address a national emergency. Foreign countries, non-reciprocal treatment of the United States has fueled a crisis that has decimated American communities." While the ruling strikes down the use of IEEPA for these specific broad tariffs, legal experts note that the President still maintains other, more narrow tariff authorities under Section 232, National Security, and Section 301, Unfair Trade Practices, which the administration may now look to utilize. Conclusion. The Supreme Court's decision marks the most significant judicial limit placed on the current administration to date, by reinforcing the major questions doctrine, which limits executive agencies from acting on issues of vast economic significance without clear congressional approval. The court has signaled a firm boundary on how far the executive branch can go in reshaping the American economy.